Who's actually going to benefit from a 12-volt, 1,000-watt windlass on a 40 to 50-foot sailboat? Who can safely walk away from it? And does it justify the price tag for the average cruising family? Those are the three questions that keep me up at night before I click Add to Cart on any marine kit. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks talking to a handful of owners, looking at forum threads, and even watching a couple of dockside demos to see whether this Lewmar V3 Gypsy drum actually lives up to the hype or just adds another layer of complexity to anchoring day-to-day. Let's start with the hesitation most of us feel. The windlass is the piece of equipment you never think about until it fails. A jammed drum while you're trying to set anchor in a sudden squall can turn a pleasant night under the stars into a frantic chase for the chain. On the flip side, you don't want to over-engineer your setup and end up with a motor that guzzles power, takes up precious cockpit space, and sits idle most of the season. The Lewmar V3 promises a compact and durable solution that fits a 3/8-inch CHG4 chain, pulls up to 2,260 pounds, and integrates a stainless steel FastFit for a low-profile installation. Those numbers look solid on paper, but the real test is how they translate when you're actually pulling a 1,500-pound anchor in a choppy inlet. First, who should consider buying this windlass? If you own a 40 or 45-foot cruiser that runs on a 12-volt electrical system, and you already have a modest-sized anchor, say a 12-kilogram plow or a similar 3/8-inch chain setup, this unit slots right in. The motor's 1,000-watt rating is enough to hoist that weight with a comfortable push of the control switch, and because it's designed for a low-profile fit, you won't have to sacrifice a lot of cockpit space. For sailors who frequently anchor in marinas or shallow bays where the chain run is relatively short, the V3's pull rating of 2,260 pounds gives a comfortable safety margin. It also appeals to owners who value the Lewmar name. The brand has been a go-to for deck hardware for decades, so the trust factor alone can sway a decision. Now, who should probably skip it? If your vessel is edging toward the 50-foot mark and you regularly use a heavier anchor, think a 20-kilogram, 44 pounds, Fortress or a high-holding power cutter, you'll quickly hit the ceiling of that 2,260-pound pull limit. In those cases, the windlass might stall, overheat, or simply drag the chain, leaving you scrambling for a manual pull. Similarly, if your boat's electrical system is already stretched thin, perhaps you've got a robust refrigeration suite, a powerful bow thruster, and a handful of solar panels, adding a 1,000-watt motor that draws a significant chunk of current each time you raise the anchor could sap your batteries faster than you'd like. For those on a shoestring budget, the Lewmar V3 sits in a price range that competes with higher capacity models from other manufacturers, so you'll need to weigh whether the trusted brand premium is worth it given the limited pull capacity. Moving on to the practical strengths, the first thing I noticed in the demo videos is the simplicity of the installation. The kit comes with everything you need for a low-profile fit: no extra brackets, no custom wiring harnesses, just a straightforward bolt-in and a quick connect to your 12-volt bus. For a DIY sailor who likes to finish a retrofit over a weekend, that's a genuine time saver. The stainless steel FastFit coupling also means you won't be wrestling with corrosion at the chain drum interface after a season of saltwater exposure. The material holds up nicely even after a few weeks of continuous use. Another real-world advantage is the motor's response when you actually engage it. In the dockside tests, the 1,000-watt motor accelerates the chain from a dead stop to full speed in under 2 seconds, which feels reassuring when you're trying to set anchor before a tide changes. The drum itself is compact enough that it doesn't dominate the stern area, leaving room for a small transom locker or a boarding ladder. That space efficiency matters when you have to store life jackets, fenders, and a handful of other essentials on a tight boat. But there are also hidden trade-offs that the spec sheet doesn't shout about. First, the 12-volt system means you have to watch your battery state of charge closely. A single full raise of a 1,500-pound anchor can dip the battery by roughly 1,520%, depending on your battery health and temperature. If you're anchoring in a windy bay and need to